Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Caitlin Clark. Once again, I don't know how many times we have to do this, but once again, showing everyone that she is the face of the WNBA, that she has a fan base that turns out to support her, not only butts in seats, not only watching games on television, but buying things that Caitlin Clark endorses. It is going to be wild if Nike ever gets around to actually dropping her signature shoe. We have another example here yet again. Caitlin Clark, record sales for a limited edition Gatorade drink. Now, there weren't a ton. It's only 2,200 bottles available, but again, people had to go make an effort to buy those 2,200 bottles, which of course is a nod to her number 22, and they flew off the shelves, sold out in. Now, I don't know if this is a little bit of spin. Maybe there was a little round up, a little round down from 20 or 24, but it says went sold out in 22 minutes. By the way, such a phenomenal showing that Gatorade has decided they're going to launch a new line of Gatorade low sugar because Caitlin Clark is demanding healthier products. It's going to have flavors like ones you're familiar with, fruit punch, lemonade, glacier cherry. I haven't heard of that one before. I don't know if that's new for Caitlin Clark. I've not seen that as Gatorade. And of course, Clark's favorite rain berry. I'm interested in glacier cherry. Wow, I'm not going to say that again. So apparently, the new formula is a significant advancement for the brand of Gatorade. 75% less sugar, which of course makes it better for athletes. Just drinking a bunch of pure sugar is not really the way to go. Apparently, and this is something I've heard, I don't see it in this article, I don't think, but apparently it's going to also get away from any of the artificial stuff. So that's going to be interesting when it comes to the different flavors. Once again, yet another example of how Caitlin Clark's fan base actually supports her. I saw, just as a quick example, I almost did a video on this, but anyway, I saw someone posting out about the U.S. men's hockey team. Of course, they not supported by a lot of people in the U.S. because they talked to Donald Trump and agreed to go to the White House. And I saw someone posted something about how Angel Reese has more Instagram followers than the entire U.S. men's hockey team. Great. Those followers are a bunch of young girls who want to be Angel Reese, sadly, and a bunch of young boys who have other thoughts about Angel Reese. But unlike Caitlin Clark's fans, they do not support Angel Reese's basketball. Hockey fans, here's a news flash for you, are not on TikTok and Instagram. They buy tickets to games, they buy jerseys, they watch games on television. Angel Reese's fans don't do that. By the way, Caitlin Clark's do as well because of a lot of her young kids that are fans of watching Caitlin Clark play basketball, and their parents are shelling out money. And of course, you also have a lot of adults who are Caitlin Clark fans as well. And here we go to yet another important comparison. Paige Becker's Breeze, that's the name of the team, not Paige Becker's Breezes, beat Angel Reese Rose to advance to unrivaled playoff bracket semifinals. That's the weirdest headline I think I've ever read. How about just advance to the semifinals? That is kind of wild. But anyway, my point being for this, as we will see, if I can, where we go? I think this was Saturday. Saturday, folks. Unrivaled. Breeze Rose. We had a glamour matchup of supposed absolute face of the league superstars, rabid fan bases. They're absolutely huge. Caitlin Clark has nothing on these ladies. Angel Reese made Caitlin Clark famous. Paige Beckers was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark was Caitlin Clark. And yet 30,000 people in the advertising demo, I believe that's 1849, is that 30,000 people, 110,000 viewers total to watch Angel Reese against Paige Beckers in the playoffs.
I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Vinyl Laces also did only 110,000. If you scroll up, you can see all these other cable highlights that nothing's even close to that. The one men's college basketball game, and there's a lot of men's college basketball on, right? That one did 270,000, but you can see the other games did 1.52 million, 1.64 million. And look at all these things on cable in the millions. Another men's college basketball, 780,000. I mean, nothing's even close. Nothing is even close to how poorly Unrivaled did. And now I will say this caveat. I think TNT had, contractually obligated. I think they had I forget which one it was, but they had wrestling on, which is I'm sure this would have been being the playoffs on TNT otherwise. But it's not like we've seen a whole lot of TNT games doing much better than what we're seeing right here. 110,000 to see Paige. But this is something that supposedly should be a marquee matchup, right? This is something that if it were the WNBA, you'd be putting out on a Sunday night or a Friday night or whatever it is, and it would be massively advertised. It would be all over everything because we've got two of the supposed superstars of the WNBA, two people with massive fan bases going head to head in a game. This is something I promise you the WNBA and its ownership is paying attention to when it comes to the CBA and the future of the league. They can't give away the store when right now it is built solely on the foundation of Caitlin Clark, which was one more thing I want to wrap up real quick to finish this off instead of doing a whole new video. We had the players union is now doing damage control. They put out a statement. Our union's a nearly unanimous vote in December to authorize us to call a strike if and when necessary was not taken lightly. It was made with complete faith and trust in ourselves and our negotiating committee led by Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson and President NECA. I'm not doing it. I always get it wrong. Agumike, Agumike. Anyway, to represent all players as we work to build a W that truly puts players first, nothing has changed. That decision and the results of our recent player survey reaffirm that the current league proposal is not worth taking. I don't believe they actually did a survey of the current proposal, and here's why I say that. WNBPA survey on league proposal. Would you accept the league's proposal of 50% of net revenue, which is less than 15% of gross revenue, in an 8-year deal, or ask the union to keep negotiating? 84% no, I would not accept 15% and want the union to keep negotiating. Here is the problem with that. The WNBA offered 70% of net revenue. And by the way, this is also only one aspect of an entire CBA. I would very much be curious to see how the other questions in the survey are worded, right? This is a leading question and a misleading question because the information in it is incorrect. How can the players make an informed decision on this when the information you are giving them is incorrect? You might as well put out, hey, the WNBA is offering to a salary cap of $2 million. Is that good, or should we strike? Even though, of course, the number is much, much higher than that. Anyway, Caitlin Clark is the face of the league. This is a foundation built on Caitlin Clark. The players are ignoring that at their peril, and they may very well not have an American league to play in next season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video. As always, smash the like button, subscribe. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.